What's up? Ichi here. I've had a lot of clients ask me recently, why is rent so high in Toronto? I mean, it's a valid question. Are landlords being greedy? What is going on here? Let's jump right into it. I live in the entertainment district here in downtown Toronto, and when I moved in 2015, a one-bedroom condo would have rented for around $1,500 a month. The same unit here in 2023 now goes for $2,500 a month. That price is almost doubled in 8 short years. So why? Why has rent increased so much in such a short period of time? Well, think of operating a condo or a rental property as operating any other sort of business. If the price of producing such good or service increases, well, the price will go up. So with that being said, what are the costs of operating a condo? The number one cost of operating a condo is the mortgage and the interest associated with that mortgage. The Bank of Canada last year increased mortgage rates 8 times in a row. In 2019, 2020, during COVID, interest rates were at a historic low. You can get a mortgage for like 2% interest. Now, after the 8 hikes, we're looking at 5 to 6% on that mortgage. Because as you know, you can't just buy, unless you have tons of money, you can't just buy a property outright. You have to borrow from the bank, right? So let's just use an average as a calculation here. Let's assume you bought a $600,000 condo and you got a $500,000 mortgage. A $500,000 mortgage, assuming a 2% interest rate, would cost you just over $2,000 a month in interest payments. Now that the Bank of Canada has increased their interest rates, let's assume 6%, a 6% interest rate on a $500,000 loan is closer to $3,000. That's almost a difference of $1,000 a month just on interest. Now, I know of a few people who are renting out their Toronto condos for almost $3,000 a month. And these people are having to either take a loss or eventually they're going to have to sell their condos because it's just not profitable anymore. And if enough people do this, there's going to be blood on the streets. It's going to be like '08 again. And this is not what the Bank of Canada wants, which is why they halted their interest rate hike in the recent meeting. The second biggest reason why rent has gone up is because condo fees have gone up. Condo fees are something all owners must pay to the condo corporation every month. These fees cover things such as concierge, security, your amenities like your pool and your gym and your barbecue, maintenance, repairs, and even litigation. For this condo alone, condo fees have increased 8% year over year. That's an increase of almost $100 a month. And I took a look at the statements, like why are they going up? The main reason they're going up are 2 things. Number 1, repairs, and number 2, utilities. Everything else is about the same. The reason why utilities are going up is because it costs more to heat a home. Things like steam, hydro, gas, these things have all gone up in price. That's a macroeconomic factor, and it's affecting buildings here in Toronto. So that's the biggest reason. The other reason is repairs. As buildings get older, repair costs go up, and as such, condominium fees goes up. So all of these costs get passed on to either the owner or, if they're renting out their unit, to the tenant. The third reason why rent is going up is because of basic supply and demand. I recently read a report that said that 20,000 condos are going to be flooding the market in Toronto this year. And I believe it. From my 11th floor patio, I can see 11 condos nearing completion. When these condos complete, these units are going to flood the market, and theoretically that should decrease the price because there's more supply. However, demand is also increasing. 500,000 immigrants are expected to come to Canada this year, of which 40,000 are expected to come to the downtown Toronto area. So demand has doubled supply. There's still a supply problem, which means that people are competing for rentals. I've worked with a lot of tenants in the past 2 months, and I've seen crazy things happen. I've seen tenants put offers above asking. I've seen 5 offers on a condo lease, and I've seen leases go up in a matter of hours. It is crazy competitive, and that's solely because there's just so much demand for housing here in downtown Toronto. And the fourth and final reason why rent is going up, macroeconomic factors. Your cash just isn't worth as much today. They keep on printing more. So, with inflation, everything has gone up in price, including rent. The good news is I've actually seen over the last few months that rent has decreased, especially those being listed in the high 2000s and low 3000s. This is because fewer people are willing to pay such high rates for rent. And as a result, landlords would rather take a slight loss than have their units sit vacant. So what will the market look like in the future? Well, there's just no way of knowing for sure. We are truly in some unprecedented times. Tenants are paying 50, 60, even 70% of their income just on rent alone. This truly is not sustainable for the long term, and we as a society are walking on some mighty thin ice. Tenants are bleeding, landlords are bleeding. So what's going to happen in the future? Well, only time will tell. I'll see you next week.